Welcome to another exciting episode of SQL Simplified. Today we are diving deep into the powerful feature of SQL that is essential for any database professionals, subqueries. Hi, I am Anubhav from Chilin Anubhav Academy, a corporate trainer working with leading companies like Oracle, HCL, Wipro and many more. My goal is to make the complex SQL concepts easy to understand and apply. Have you ever wondered how to retrieve the data by leveraging other data within the same query? Or perhaps how to write more efficient and complex queries by embedding one query within another? That is what exactly the subqueries allows us to do. In this video, we will explore what subqueries are, different types you can use, and the practical examples to see them in action. Whether you are a beginner or looking to sharpen your SQL skills, stick around as we make subqueries simple and fun. There are several types of subqueries you might encounter. These are single row subqueries, multiple row subqueries, multiple column subqueries, correlated subqueries, inline view, exist subqueries and not exist subqueries. Now let's jump into some practical demos. I'll walk you through each type of the subquery with real world examples so you can see how powerful and versatile they can be. Don't forget to have your SQL editor open and follow along. So guys, I have already created the two tables for you. That is, one is the employees table and the other one is your departments table. Okay, you can see the content what I have already inserted into it. So in the employees table, you can see I'm having the employee ID, the name of the employee's department ID and the salary column. And in your departments table, I'm having the department ID, department name and the location column. So department ID is working as a primary key in the departments table and it is working as a foreign key in the employees table. So now guys, let's look at the single row subquery. Okay, so this type of a subquery is returning either 0 or 1 row. So guys, let me show you the example here. Okay, so let's say that we want to find the name of the employees, okay, who work in the sales department. So you can see guys, the department names are given in your departments table and the employee names are given in the employees table. We can relate both the tables with the help of the department ID. So what I'm doing here, I have written a query where the inner query is trying to fetch the department ID from the department name, where the department name is sales, from the departments table. Okay, so department ID is 1. Okay, so it is retrieving 1, the inner query is retrieving 1 and the outer query is retrieving the names of the employees where the department ID was 1. So you can see those who are working in your department ID 1 are John, Mike and Chris. Okay, so this is what the output you are getting here. Okay, so guys, this was your single row subqueries. Next we will be moving towards the multiple row subqueries, which is returning one or more rows. So let me show you the example for the same. So guys, now we are trying to find the employees' names who are working in the departments which is located in New York. Okay, so in New York you can have multiple departments. I'll show you the data here. You are having the sales department is also there in New York and your HR department is also there in New York. Okay, so the department ID corresponding to your sales and the HR department is 1 and 4 and the corresponding employees will be John, Mike, Chris and Sarah. Okay, so this is what is happening in the inner query. In the inner query, we are trying to find the department IDs from the departments table where the location is New York, and here since it is retrieving the multiple rows, okay, the multiple values, so we will be getting either, okay, the multiple values here, so we have to use the in or your any or your all operators here. Okay, so what we will be doing here, we are using the in operator and we will be getting the multiple department IDs from this inner query, and the corresponding employee names we are getting from the outer query. So this was our multiple row subquery. So next we will be moving towards your multiple column subquery. So in your multiple column subquery, what we are trying to do, it will be retrieving and returning more than one column. Okay, suppose we are trying to find the employees who are having the highest salary in their respective departments. Okay, so we will be using the multiple columns subquery here. Okay, so in the inner query you can see it is selecting the department ID and the maximum salary from the employees table, and it is grouping it according to the department ID only, because I want to get the maximum salary in a particular department. Okay, now what I am doing, I am pairing it with the columns in the outer query. Like here department ID and salary is being paired with your department ID and the maximum salary in the inner query. So columns are being paired here and it is retrieving the multiple columns, and here we are selecting the names of those employees who are getting the highest salary in their corresponding departments. Okay, so we are getting their names here. Okay, so this was about your multiple column subqueries. Okay, now let's move on to the correlated subquery. Okay, so what is your correlated subquery? Where we are relating the columns of the outer query as well as the inner query. So what it is doing, the inner query will be executed once for each row of your outer query. Okay, so guys, here we are taking the example where we are trying to find the employees who are earning more than the average salary of their departments. Okay, so here we are relating the same column, that is the salary column in the outer query as well as the salary column in the inner query also. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, it will be the inner query is calculating the average salary, okay, for each department, and the outer query is comparing each employee salary to this average. Okay, so guys, here we can see, let's take an example. We were having this data. So let's say the sales department, John, Mike and Chris, okay, they are having the salaries as 5,000, 5,500 and 4,800. So their average would be around 51 or 5,200. Okay, so now it is going to compare with each row. That means John's salary is going to be compared with the average salary. It is lesser. Mike's salary is being compared to the average salary, which is greater. So that is why we are getting the output as Mike, because he is getting the salary which is greater than the average salary of his department. Okay, so this was about your this was about your correlated subqueries. So now let's move on to your inline view subqueries. Okay, so what is an inline view, guys? That is acting as your temporary tables, what your views are. Suppose like we are trying to find the top 3 highest paid employees in your organization. Okay, so here we are writing the query in the from clause. Okay, till now we have seen that the queries we were writing in the where clause, but now we will be writing the queries in the from clause. So here you can see we will be writing the same data type and the same columns here in the from clause, of course. Okay, so I am writing the name, salary from employees. I am ordering the salary in the descending order and I am retrieving the first 3 records. So it will be giving me the first 3, that means the highest 3 paid employees of your organization. Okay, so here I am selecting the name and salary of those employees, so those I am getting it here as a result. Okay, so here it will be creating the temporary table or a view for us. That is why we are calling it as an inline view, and here we are writing the inner query in the from clause instead of writing it in your where clause. So now guys, let's move on to the next type of the subquery, which is your exist subquery. Okay, so guys, now in your exist subquery we are trying to check for the existence of the rows. Okay, for example, we want to find the departments with more than 2 employees. Okay, we were having only the sales department which were having 3 employees, so that example I have took it here. Okay, so what I am doing here, in the inner query I am selecting 1. You can use any constant here. I am using 1 because I don't want to retrieve the data. I just want to retrieve whether the column or whether any particular value is existing or a row is existing or not. Okay, so for that I have used just select 1. So exist will return true if any particular department is existing with more than 2 employees. Otherwise it will be returning false. So here I don't want to retrieve any data. So normally we are using the select 1 with exist and not exist subqueries. Okay, so I am using select 1 from employees where the department ID is matching. First of all, I am using the join here, okay, where I am trying to compare the department IDs in the employees table and the departments table. Then I am grouping it with the help of your department ID, okay, and I am counting if the number of employees are more than 2. If it is existing, if it is returning true, then the corresponding department name I am getting as a result, which is your sales. Now let's see another example of your not exist subquery. So here guys, this subquery will be checking for the non-existence of the rows. Okay, suppose we are trying to find a department which is having no employees. So I was having one department, finance, which was not having any employees. Okay, so what we are trying to do, again I'm using 1 here because I don't want to retrieve any data from this inner query. Okay, so I am using 1 from employees where I am matching it with the help of the department ID column. Okay, so not exist will return true if you are not having any matched rows. Okay, so that means if there is no existent rows are there, so it will be returning true. In that case, it will be selecting the department name and will be giving you as a result. Okay, so guys, to summarize, we have covered various types of the subqueries, including the single row, multiple column, correlated, inline views, exist and your non-exist subqueries. Okay, subqueries are a powerful tool that can make your SQL queries more efficient and readable. Give them a try in your own projects as well. Okay, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more SQL tips. Okay, so see you next time. Thank you very much.